Hello, and welcome to Cocktails with a Twist of History, your digital destination for all things cocktails. A guy I met at the storage facility recently became a fan and asked for more shows about tequila cocktails. I realized that, for no particular reason, I haven't done a show about tequila in a while. I apologize for that. I happen to love tequila. This is going to be a double episode because I want to talk about a strange cocktail that somehow became one of Mexico's national cocktails, the Paloma. I also want to talk about a more modern twist on this cocktail, modern meaning 2006. Ouch, that was 20 years ago. And this cocktail is called the Siesta. In the 1950s, US made products and they were being sent to Mexico. And this was one of the popular sugary drinks and sodas that were being marketed to the Mexican population. Marketing in the United States was getting smart enough to start sending products internationally based on what that country needs and not necessarily what was selling here in the United States. Case in point, grapefruit soda, like Squirt. Very big in a lot of foreign countries, but not so much in the United States. While these sodas were picking up steam, they were experimenting with them in cocktails, hence the Paloma. In fact, when it boomed in Mexico, and then the bartenders in the United States wanted to duplicate it, they couldn't find the grapefruit soda that was easy to get in Mexico. Fast forward to the craft cocktail boom in the United States, and they took the sugary version and made it a more craft one, meaning they used grapefruit juice and soda water and they toned down the sugar. Feel free to make it either way or both. Okay, I have been talking way too long without a cocktail in my hand. Let's make a Paloma. The Paloma is actually built right in the glass, and we're going to use a Collins glass for this one. We are going to need 2 ounces of our tequila. And here we go. Let's put in our tequila. We have our tequila right here. And we're going to put in a full 2 ounces. Now here, they say to use a Blanco tequila. You don't want to use one of the reposados or the añejos because this is going to have some of the more pure of the taste of the tequila in the Blanco. I'm not so sure I really agree with that, but for this, we're going to use the Blanco anyway. Here we go. Now, we're going to need 2 teaspoons of a lime juice. Here we have already a lime juice. Hold on. Here we have already a lime juice, and it actually has some sugar inside of it already. It calls for a pinch of salt, which is very interesting. So we're going to put in some salt. And now it's calling for 3 ounces of grapefruit juice and 3 ounces of seltzer. I am not going to use that much of it in here. I am going to use 1.5 ounces of the grapefruit juice and probably 1.5 ounces of the seltzer, only because I don't like to water down my cocktails so much. But here we go. Here's our 1.5 ounces of our grapefruit juice. And here we have our seltzer. And we are going to use that. See, hear it? Pretty fresh. We are going to use the 1.5 ounces of our seltzer, which is right here. And we're going to put that into our glass. And now we are going to add our ice. Here we go. And as always, got to put a lot of ice in it. I'm using smaller ice these days, but it still works and it's still good. So we're just going to put in a lot of ice. Make sure that it becomes very, very cold. Lost one there if you could have heard that. And normally it says to garnish with either a lime or a grapefruit. We're going to garnish it with an orange just because that's what I have. Here we go. Let's try it. It doesn't really need a lot of stirring because once you put in the grapefruit juice and the seltzer, it sort of mixes everything up. But it is a really refreshing drink. Very, very nice. The grapefruit juice, it really takes center stage, which is really good. I happen to like grapefruit juice, so, that's a big plus. And it's a really nice cocktail. Okay, and like I said, this all gets built right in the Collins glass. For the version from Mexico, substitute soda for the grapefruit juice and the seltzer. Squirt is the original one, but any other kind of soda will help. It's pretty easy to see why this took off. It's refreshing, the tequila and the grapefruit really work well together, and it's really a very nice drink. As for the question of what type of tequila to use, we are trying over here the unoaked tequila Blanco, also known as silver tequila, as opposed to, like I said, the reposado or the añejo. The Blanco, we said, has a clean taste. It has those herbs that you can really taste and the quality which makes it the base for a wonderful drink. Remember, with tequila, there is Blanco, which is silver or plata, which is unaged or rested for less than 2 months. Reposado, which is aged for 2 months to 12 months, and it's aged in oak barrels. Añejo, which is aged between 1 year and 3 years in oak barrels. And then there's the extra añejo, which is aged 3+ years. There's also a new category called cristalino, which they take the aged tequila, they run it through the charcoal filters, and it restores its clarity. It becomes clear. Sometimes it has a little silkiness to it. Some of them are worth it. Some of them are not. Some of them are really good. Well, as always, if you know other parts of the history, we want to know it. You can put it in the comments. You can send it to us by email, or you can tell it to the bottle. We want to know. Also, please make sure to like, subscribe, follow, and to send a link of this show to somebody else so they can enjoy cocktails with a twist of history. Thank you.